Hey everybody, it's Brad Budd. I am out here in Austin, Texas at Lady Bird Lake. Going to be doing a little panorama. I am a former Canon product educator and just going to give you a tip on, if you don't have the lens you're looking for, how you can capture something, so ideally, I probably need about a 50mm lens to capture what I want to capture with the skyline here. We're gonna do a long exposure as the sunset, but I'm gonna show you guys how we could take a longer lens and shoot vertically and then stitch it later in Photoshop to get a wider field of view. So got the R5 here with the Canon 70-200 RF 2.8L, and we're going to do a multiple exposure. So I'm going to set my camera. I got a 2-second delay on. We're going to set it to where it shoots a stop over, it shoots a normal exposure, and then a stop under. And so with that 2-second delay, it's actually going to trigger that for you, so you won't need to push the shutter multiple times, causing camera shake. So we're going to go ahead and get that set up here, and we'll just shoot a panorama, and you guys will be able to see this one here. So we're going to go into our settings. We're going to do our over under. I'm going to go with a full stop so I get a little bit more dynamic range in my photo. I'll be able to pull out some of the shadows, make sure the highlights, I don't have any burnout highlights, especially when we get hopefully a beautiful sunset later. So we'll go there. What I like to do is I have it set up. I have my camera on manual focus, the lens on manual focus with my my lines here, so you can see the focus peaking. And I'm going to start with a little bit of room on the side of the where I want my image to start. And with a 2-second delay, I'm going to go ahead and trigger that. And it took 3 pictures. Now I'm going to take my rule of thirds lines here, and I'm just going to bring that first one to where the second one was. Go again. It's going to do that. Do the same thing. Bring that over. So what you're wanting overlay, so when you bring this to Photoshop or Lightroom, it actually can see where it needs to overlay the image. I'm going to do that one more time here, I think. It might be another one after this, just to get where we need. So I have the buildings I want in there. Yep, that's going to be perfect right there. And you'll see the last building on the right there, that's actually a lot higher because it's a lot closer to us. So in the final picture, I'm actually going to crop that out and go with a little bit more of a panoramic, so I can have a nice symmetrical image there with the skyline from left to right, all these buildings that are the same size. Good. Yeah. It's even going to be pretty with just how it is right now. Yeah, that's awesome. There's a turtle down there under the water.
Got all sorts of turtles.
Again.
It's locking onto a gnat.
Yeah. Yeah, there it happened again. Look at look at the little blue icon
just jumping around.
Yeah, it just locked onto one, and then it just goes crazy and follows it.
All right, so we finally got the sun is going down behind the building over here. So we're finally getting towards sunset. Let me show you. That's the building. The sun just went down. Starting to get to sunset here. Brad's got his big guns out here. And we're just waiting.
Hoping for something beautiful. You see the bird buffet over here? There's every type of bird known to man that's
oh, let's check it out.
That's come over to enjoy the delicacy of the mud.
Ooh, all the bugs. This is what the bats are after, right? All the bugs. All right, so this is what we're going after. This is the inspiration picture.
We're obviously not going to get the beautiful clouds tonight because there's no clouds, but maybe we'll get some deep color in the skyline. So
that looks like just about exactly where that picture was taken. Ooh, look at that. That is gorgeous. All right, so I'm back here at home now, and I just wanted to show you what it looked like in Lightroom to go ahead and take these different images and merge them. Now, I was having a problem with my camera. I couldn't get it to do the auto exposure bracketing, and I realized the reason that I couldn't do that was because I had electronic shutter on and not the mechanical shutter. So if you want to take these kinds of images, make sure your camera is not set to electronic shutter, and that it is on the mechanical shutter, because one of the issues that I had was I could only go down to a half-second exposure. It wouldn't let me go down any further than that, but as soon as I flipped it into mechanical shutter, then presto, I could do all of the things that Brad was doing with his camera with the lower shutter settings. Okay, another thing I wanted to show you was what it looks like if you don't use the 2-second delay. That 2-second delay really helps you make sure that there's no shake in the camera. And so this image here is a little bit blurry, and it's one of the ones that I didn't use the 2-second delay on. So make sure you use that 2-second delay, or use your phone as a remote trigger. You can set the software up to be able to do that. Okay, let's go ahead and merge. We'll merge these sets of images here. And the first thing I want to do before I go merge them is I'm going to double check this image and make sure it's acceptably sharp. And it is. It has a bit of noise in it. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and merge these images first, and then we'll go back and clean it up. So with the images selected, all you really need to do is right click on it, go down to Photo Merge and Panorama Merge. I used to have to do this in Photoshop, and it was kind of a pain. They've made it super easy here in Lightroom. So now you see on the right side I have some different options for projection, spherical, cylindrical, and perspective. And so I'll show you what cylindrical looks like. And that may or may not be more of like what you're looking for. I think I like the spherical a little bit better. And then you have perspective. It says unable to merge. So we'll go back here to spherical, and I'm going to check auto crop, but you could also check fill edges. And with the edges filled, you can see down here it tries really hard, but it doesn't quite get it. So I would not recommend using fill edges unless it really is working for your situation. So I'm going to hit auto crop here, and then I'm going to hit merge. Okay, and you can see that it's still thinking now. So it's merging those together, and it's going to bring us back a single image. So now you see that we have a single image here, and that it says it has a stack of 8 images. So it looks like the original images are here, and then you have that there. So let's do one more. I've got this one, which is super wide here. We're going to right click, photo merge, panorama merge. We'll use spherical. You can see how it's kind of figured all that out. Now I'm not going to do auto crop here because you can see that I didn't quite get it level, that the horizon is sort of sloping up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge this, and then after the merge I'm going to go back here and I'm going to crop it in manually and rotate it a little bit. So Lightroom still gives you a lot of options for doing things like that, which I think is pretty cool. Alright, so here we are. It's merged all the images together, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to rotate it, get that horizon where it's nice and level. That looks a lot better. And then I can move this around to make sure that the crop area is inside all of the image area that we have. And boom, there we go. And just for fun, I'm going to hit auto here just to see what it does. Looks like it didn't do too much. So we can go ahead and basically edit this until our heart's content. We can play around with the black point, so I'm going to kind of bring this down and make it a little bit darker. It brought the shadows quite up high, so I'm going to reduce that a little bit. Highlights, I'm going to bring it down just a hair from where it had brought it down quite a bit. I play with the contrast a bit. I do like this image with a little bit more contrast, so I'm going to pump that in. Now this is looking pretty good considering that we didn't have 3 images for high dynamic range. I really want to go back and redo this on my next trip with some high dynamic range. And I think I'm also going to play around with the white balance here to just change the color of these. There we go. Those lights were looking just a little bit yellow. And I think the tint was pretty much spot on there. So yeah, this is looking pretty good. And I might want to, you know, like pump up the blues a little bit so we can get a little bit like more purple in that sky. And this is where the creative controls within Lightroom can really shine. All right, so let me show you those settings on the back of the camera on the Canon R5C. It's going to be similar in other cameras. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit the menu button. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll over to menu number 6 on the camera setting. All right, you want to make sure that the camera is in mechanical mode. So here we can see that the camera is in mechanical mode. I'm going to scroll back over to menu number 2, and that's the exposure compensation, or AEB. I'm going to press the set button, and that'll take me into that menu. Now, in order to do the auto exposure bracketing, what you need to do is move this dial here that's right above the red shutter button. So once I move that dial, you can see that now I can change my auto exposure bracketing, and I'm going to set it to 1 stop. So here's 1/3, 2/3, and 1 full stop, and I'm going to set OK. All right, now I'm going to get out of the menu and press the Q button, and that will allow me to change the drive setting on the back of the camera. So I'm in the menu here. Now you can also do this on the touch screen. All right, so I've hit the Q button. Now I want to scroll down to the drive mode, and once I'm in the drive mode, I can scroll over to the 2-second delay. And I'm just going to hit the set button on that, and now we're ready to shoot. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I sure had fun taking pictures of these skylines. I think that I'm going to be doing this a lot more when I travel now. But let me know what you think. Put your comments or questions or tips or tricks in the comments, and we'll be sure to answer those. And if you like this content and you want some more of it, make sure you subscribe so you'll get notified the next time we put a video out. All right, I'm Chris from Check 6, and I will see you later.